I hate it.
Jealousy.
Miserable?
I'm jealous of young people.
Oh.
I don't know. How would you answer that?
Okay, to be envious of someone else.
Yeah, it's like you wanted something that somebody else has, but you don't believe that you can have that thing. So you have hatred for that person instead of going out and getting whatever you desire from that thing that you're jealous of.
I'm jealous of people with money, which is wrong, I know, but
Time consuming and energy consuming. That's what jealousy is, negativity.
I don't feel jealousy at this stage of life, to be honest.
I would say in terms where I've seen personally, I've seen people get jealous of the way I've progressed in life. So I say progress can be a source of jealousy for a few people.
I think jealousy it's more of a youthful thing. I think if you're materialistic, you can be jealous of your neighbours having a nicer car, bigger house, bigger salary, but I'm sort of past that now. I'm looking forward to retirement.
It's two types of jealous. I mean, when you see some success, I mean, that's fine. Maybe you like to mimic that success and to be a success. Another bad jealous, you're trying to destroy that success. That's the bad jealous. Yeah.
Not only that, there could be a lot of factors in terms of jealousy. It could be progress, it could be, a successful life, or it could be, what a person has. So every person is jealous of someone at some point.
Yeah, I felt jealous before. Probably about like other people. Yeah, it's like what other people are wearing, what other people are doing, seeing what they're up to.
I'd be sex, because that can cause like a lot of jealousy with people, I think. And it's like also you can be jealous over like an object or something, but when it's like a person, it's like a different type of jealousy.
People are travelling when you're sat at home.
It's an emotion. To me it is anyway.
I think it's quite an overwhelming feeling.
Because again, I guess if you say God's a jealous God and we're made in His image, we're going to experience
it in some way. No, I agree. Okay, jealousy is probably a huge one for me. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's I'm not jealous of other people and what they have. I become jealous when something that I have is taken from me. And yeah, I don't like it at all. An example would be, oh, glory to God. I had friendship, still have a friendship, and I became very close with this person in a very short space of time. And I suppose another person came, and there was nothing wrong with that. But because I suppose I'd become so close with that one individual, seeing them become close with somebody else, it was almost like, I can't allow that. And it's not like, I wouldn't say, I think, yeah, their friendship is what it is now, and fair enough. But I miss, Zara, you were in this, you witnessed the situation. Yeah. But I almost feel like it didn't, I don't think I acted very badly, if that makes sense. I think it's just how it made me feel.
I'd say like jealousy, not just for you, but in general, it can drive being irrational.
Yeah.
So it took a toll on, not the way you were behaving, like you weren't rolling around like a madman. Well, sometimes you were.
That's just me anyway.
But it was the way you were behaving, the way you'd be emotionally drained. And I think it plays into the way that you think, myself included.
Yeah.
Like when you're jealous, it can become extremely consuming There can be like 999 amazing things happening around you, but you're focusing on that one thing you don't have.
Yeah.
Or the one thing that's being taken from you.
Yeah.
And it can be, I think, extremely toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jealousy.
Can you ever get any positive results from being jealous? Can anything good come out of being jealous?
I think
you know, like for example,
I think I'd agree.
we hear about some couples where they might be in a relationship, but they want to make their spouse or partner jealous, so they may act out or be in a situation whereby their partner sees and makes them a little bit jealous. That's an example. That doesn't mean that I condone that. I'm just saying, are there actions whereby the result of making someone jealous can yield positive results?
Positives. I think, I don't know about that context, but I think in the context of if somebody had something and you wanted it, I suppose it's almost bordering on like the covetousness. Yes, is that correct? Hallelujah. But yeah, I think that's type of like bordering on that. But if someone had something that I didn't have, it would almost make me want to work harder in order to achieve that. Does that make sense?
So do you think there's a difference between jealousy and inspiration?
I'm glad you went there. I was going to go there. I think there's a really fine line. What I was going to kind of ask is, how do you define the difference between jealousy and inspiration? Because I think sometimes being jealous of something, so maybe someone's in a great position and you're, I'm a bit jealous. I'd like to be there. So you work hard, you work on yourself, develop yourself and elevate yourself. You've been jealous, but then drawn inspiration from it. But I would say a key thing with jealousy is it becomes a lot more obsessive and a lot more negative connotations are surrounded with jealousy.
I would like to agree. I think there is a difference. I would like to say there is a difference between inspiration and jealousy. But it has more negative connotations. And I think out of jealousy sparks bad behavior, if that makes sense. Like, I can't quite describe it. Whereas inspiration, I think it's channeled for more positive outcomes. Where jealousy, the outcome tends to be, do you know what I mean?
I think the difference is as well is that with jealousy, you want what they have, as in their particular possessions, their particular success. When inspiration is like, I want my own, if that makes sense. I'm fueled by what you've got and that's great, but actually I want to achieve things and have success on my own accord. When we look about jealousy, you know, me and Aaron were talking about Cain and Abel. You know, Cain could have taken inspiration from his brother about how God saw him as a worshipper, but no, he got vexed and he killed him. Dead.
Wow. Straight to the point.
You know, it wasn't a case whereby he was inspired. He was absolutely mad. And I was saying as well, that I don't know sometimes if jealousy has like an emotional chemical imbalance in the brain where you just crazy. Does that make sense? I'm not saying everyone that is, but I don't know. It's just like you said, a consuming emotion that just doesn't. It's just relentless. Like it just doesn't seem to be content or happy or satisfied. Probably, I don't know. Would you say it's one of the worst emotions, jealousy?
I think it's consuming like a few others though. Like some people, fear leads them to that kind of state. Anger has a similar type of effect on people. There's a lot of emotions where it can become consuming if it's unchecked. And kind of just being able to feel the emotion, understand what it is, and then deal with it in a positive way is probably how best to deal with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's quite selfish. In my honest opinion. Like, and I can only say that because I can be quite a jealous person. But I think it can be quite selfish. Because either you want what somebody else has, or you want something for yourself. And I suppose in my situation, looking back at it now, I had to realise that although they're my friend, I don't own them. They're not my possession. They're not my possession. So they can go and have their other friends, and that is perfectly acceptable. But also, I didn't realise the negative effect it could have on me in terms of my friend's outlook on who I was as well. Does that make sense? Because it had affected my behaviour, that could have then affected my friendship with that individual. Because do you know what I mean? It had such a negative effect on kind of my mood, how I was behaving. I was having horrendous mood swings. Like, yeah, I just think that then in turn reflected badly on me as well. So yeah, but I'm not gonna lie, this one cuts me deep. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say it doesn't.
I think we were saying earlier as well, is it like a gradual build up of jealousy, or is it just all at one time? Like the kind of jealousy that alters behavior, is that something that gradually builds over time, or is that something that's just
instant?
Yeah, instant. This is emotion. I'm not sure how to handle this, so I'm gonna.
I'd say gradually, and I think that's the deadliest thing about it. Because for me personally,
Slow burner.
I feel like it's a feeling that builds up and builds up and builds up to the point in which I can't stand it no more. And then because the thing is, when it first started happening in the context of my friendship, I said nothing.
Really?
Yeah, I just kind of sat there and just let it happen because I knew what was right. I knew I was wrong for feeling that way. So I was like, well, I can't act any different because then I'd just look jealous. Do you see what I mean?
I think I'm quite the opposite. Like if something bugs or irritates me, but then I wouldn't say I get jealous that easily. But if something bugs or irritates me, I'm like, right, I need to address it now. Everything else kind of gets blurred out of the focus. And I'm like, this is the problem. This is what's happening. I need to address it and sort it out. But it definitely overtakes. I could have deadlines to make. And if something concerning like jealousy consumes me, so my deadlines are gone, this is gone. It's just that one thing now I have to sort out or figure out how to kind of reconfigure my emotions. And I think it's quite scary because it overtakes you. Well, like speaking on my account, I'd say it overtakes me. It's, consuming.
Is there any way it can be justified? Are there any contexts whereby you'd be like, oh, fair enough, I get why you're jealous, you can get over it sort of thing? Or do you think it's always a no-no, you shouldn't be jealous of people? It's not a trait to have, if that makes sense.
I think as people, we don't really have rights or ownerships over anything or anyone, as much as we like to think so. And even if I think quite a big one is, say when you help somebody out, and you might be helping someone out because it's from the goodness of your heart, and then they then go and praise somebody else, there could be a feeling of jealousy, but you never owned that person. You made a decision to help them, and that was your own decision. So I think there's scenarios where it may seem justified, but really and truly, we don't have ownership over anybody or anything.
You're not entitled to that personal thing.
I think it's a harsh reality, but I'd have to agree with Zara. Like, I don't think in any context I can think of, it can be justified. I just think at the end of the day, but the thing is, I laugh when I say this because I will still go and be jealous. Like, I'm like, you have what you have. Like, do you know what I mean? It is what it is. Get over it. But I suppose just when you're in that moment, I don't know. I don't know. I just think, but it's never usually over a possession. It's more relationships. 100%.
Try and check. I don't know. It's probably hard in the moment, but I think it is like at the initial, and trying to kind of change your perspective on it.
Yeah.
Because it could be because I'm quite the same. Like when you get something that's really nice, you're like, oh, this is unique. I can't believe I found this. Like it took me a while to work for it. And now this is my thing. Like, okay, this is, say a car or I don't know, a nice pair of clothes or shoes or something. And then someone says, oh yeah, where'd you get those from?
And I don't want to reveal my when we went on holiday, do you remember?
Yeah.
Oh, we went on holiday. Now I have to say this one. And I know so many people are going to be laughing because so many people messaged us. But we went on holiday and we found this nice villa. When I tell you, the story behind it, was mad anyway. But we've managed to find this nice villa. And to be fair, it serves us right because we definitely went and posted, well, serves me right. I definitely went and posted on all of my socials. But we found this really nice place. We got in and it was lit when it was so
from the front door. From the front door.
It's true. Zara started screaming. She saw this control
it
panel.
had in audio. I don't know how to explain it. I came with my little Bluetooth speaker, thinking, "Oh, I'm going to play music on my." It had an inbuilt sound system. I said, "Wow."
and everything was controlled by like tablets and stuff. Honestly, it was so lit. Cinema room, like hot tub,
sauna.
And the thing is, there was 3 of us. It slept 10.
Wow.
So we had just been extra.
Yeah. Are you going to give them details later?
Just so the link will be below.
Put it on our socials, right? When I tell you, every man and their dog was messaging us, where are you going? And then we all just sat there. Now everyone wants to know. And do you know what I mean? It's kind of like you said, you found that thing, you've worked hard for it, and then like everybody else wants it. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
But you don't have to work. And I suppose that's another thing. I think you feel it more when you do work for it because you've worked for it. Whereas when somebody's just asking for the link, it's like, well, you haven't spent hours on the website looking for it. Now you just want the quick hookup. Do you know what I mean?
They want the benefits from your hard work.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes can be. And I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen anyone go yet. They probably don't dare after this video. But if I saw somebody there, I'd be like,
For real.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
So you wouldn't want anyone else to experience that though? If you
if I'm going to be truthfully honest, no.
Okay.
Because I feel like, and see, this is the jealousy speaking now. It's my experience.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I've had to block certain people off the socials because they've gone to Dubai.
Okay.
Right, okay.
Because that just annoys me. Like, I'm like,
Why? Why is
No,
it
but you
annoying?
don't have ownership over Dubai.
That's my problem. But the thing is, I know this. Do you
Okay.
see what I mean? It's mad, but it's still there. And that's my, because I'm almost like, everyone can fly to Dubai, do you know what I mean? Like, and the thing is, what kills me? I'm so two-faced, really.
Oh, dear.
Because I'm telling everybody to go. I'm like, enjoy, oh my God, it's amazing. And I see them out there, I'm like, oh.
Just have to go.
Do you know what I mean? I was thinking that I didn't think they'd have made it. Do you know what I mean?
Would you say jealousy is more of a battle with yourself then?
Maybe. Yeah, because I know what's right and what. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it's triggers as well, like certain things, certain people's achievements trigger your insecurity. And so this unleashes your jealousy because it's just like, oh, how did they get that? How did they have this? Why can't I have that? It's just this nasty, toxic feeling that drugs itself out of you and causes you to do irrational things. I don't know.
I'd say that's more selfishness than jealousy, to be fair.
Okay.
Like this is mine. Like
Yeah. No, it is.
even though it's not yours though.
And this is the thing. It's mad. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I agree. I do think it is very selfish. Like, because you can't go to Dubai, live your best life. I'll just be scowling at you in the background.
Oh dear.
So if someone went to, say someone in your friendship group went to Dubai first, is that now no longer on your list? You can't go there anymore?
No, I think I'd still go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work the other way?
No.
Okay.
Which is
That's
even more
interesting.
selfish.
That's interesting.
Because I can have an experience if I have it first, but you can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can still have the same experience even if you've gone before. Do you see what I mean?
No, I was just wondering if it works. So say like Dubai, you went first, so that's
and then
okay.
I'd have to tick, like, it couldn't be on my list anymore. Yeah, like, oh, they've gone and done it.
Yeah.
No, I think I'd be all right.
You'd be
'Cause
okay.
I suppose there's a bag of people that have been before we went,
Before.
but I don't know, I was all right. But I think once I've made that memory and I suppose I saw the quality in it and enjoyed it so much for myself, I don't know, it was just like it was mine. And yeah, I know it's mad, isn't it? You're looking at me so left like Josh, we didn't know this about you.
I'm
being
trying to
truthful,
think.
guys, sorry.
So what do you think to the quote or saying that comparison is the robber of joy?
Let me just beat that one.
I think it can be. I think it definitely can be. I think that's kind of touches on what we were saying earlier about the whole social media, comparing yourself to false identities and stuff like that. And where that takes you is usually in like, it's normally in a negative way. I guess there are times sometimes when you look at people and you say, oh, I admire those qualities. How can I get those? What can I work on to be more like this or more like that? But I feel like a lot of the time it does lead you to a point that's not joy. Yeah. I feel like it's almost like, it takes away your joy. Because normally you're okay, like you're fine, you're walking down the street or you've had a great day, you see something, you're like, oh, that's oh, that's so much better than what I have, or they look so much better than I do. and then instantly you could have been having the greatest day, and now you're like, oh,
Unhappy.
yeah, straight unhappiness. Yeah. So I think it can, a lot of the time it does steal your joy.
Yeah.
I can see times when it would lead to kind of progression maybe. But again, I guess that's how you look at it, like the perspective on it.
But then maybe it's even progression for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't have to want to be better because somebody else is. You should want to be better for yourself. And that's the thing. I can preach to somebody about this till kingdom come, but apply it to my own life. I just really
a little bit
struggle.
difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, I just really struggle. But I agree, 100%. I agree with you, Aaron, 100%. Yeah, it's a hard one for me.
So, you know, if you had a friend then that was making it in life and doing everything you wanted to do and you were failing, would you ever confront that friend and say, I'm jealous of you? Do you think that's ever healthy to address your jealousy in terms of that actual person or thing? To say, yeah, I'm jealous, I'm not happy with my own life, you have everything that I want. Is that ever healthy? Is that ever a way to address that feeling that you have?
I don't think it is the healthiest of ways to address it. I think what may be better is like saying to that friend, look, I'm really struggling. You're in a place I'd like to be. Could you help me? Or how could you, asking them for help rather than I'm jealous of you. Because at the end of the day, they are where they are. You are where you are. You go on different journeys. And I just think that there'd be no good coming from that. If anything, you could end up losing a friend. I think the real thing that would need to be confronted is yourself. So like, why am I jealous? Maybe even look at the harsh realities of why they are where they are and why you are where you are. But me personally, no, I don't think any good will come out of that for either of you. No.
I think the simple answer is it's a you problem. Like, unfortunately, the jealousy stems with you. They're just living their life. They're just working hard. They're just making their money, and they're going about their business. And the fact that you feel a certain way about what they're doing, that's not fair on them. You can't put that on them. Do you see what I mean? Effectively, you're saying, I'm jealous of what you're doing. And in order for me not to be jealous, essentially, you have to stop. Does that make sense? That's really the core root of what we're saying. And I think you can't put that on somebody. They're just doing their thing. And yeah, it's a you problem, unfortunately. And you have to address it in yourself. Although that's quite a harsh reality. I think, yeah, unfortunately, it's something that you have to learn to get over. And yeah, like Dara said, like if you are seeking advice, then ask from an advice point of view. Like, and the thing is as well, I think again, going back to the whole like influencers, like the life that we perceive, and then the reality of a situation, you'll find as well that they have their struggles, their life. What you see isn't always a true representation of how they're living their life. And I think as well, be careful what you ask for. Because you may want what they have, but you don't want all the mess that comes with it. Because there may be a lot that they're dealing with in order to be who they are, get what they get to. And I think that's one thing I've begun to realise. Like, it's okay wanting what other people have or wanting a friendship, but you don't know
the context
of that friendship. You don't know what they've been through in order to be friends. Like, and it may be something I may not be able to deal with myself. So be grateful for what you have, I think, and accept what you have as well, because there's no bad in it, and see the good in what you have. I think that's important. We
compensate.
No, there's a lot of comparisons in the world. We compare a lot of the time. We compare a lot of things we have, but in the comparison, we never usually see the good in what we have. We always tend to focus on what we don't have and the negatives. And I think just take sight of what you have and think, you know what, I can work with this. Like, and God, I think, will then elevate, or whatever you do, will then elevate you, because you're grateful for what you have. And I always tend to find, like, I believe like a situation will never walk into your life that you can't necessarily bear. So if you can't bear having lots of money, because money isn't everything, like I don't think it will be given to you, because you won't physically be able to bear it. Likewise, do you know what I mean? If you can't, if you're meant to just live a simple life, then be grateful for the simple life. Because like I said, there is a lot of people that have a lot of money, that have a lot more responsibility, that you may not be necessarily able to deal with.
Or want to deal with.
And accept that. That's fine. And I just think that's really important, you know? Just accept what you have, be grateful for it, see the good in it, and keep moving.
Yeah.
I'd say the conversation might be healthy, though. But I think it does depend on the expectation of the conversation and then I guess the dynamic of the friendship. If it's somebody you can actually just talk to about like anything, then I think going to them and telling them actually, I know it's not right, but I do feel jealousy towards you because of such and such and such. Not in the expectation that they, I don't know, throw away all their success so that you can be on the same level.
Be miserable together.
Yeah, but like you're saying, be careful what you ask for because that might lead into conversation of them telling you, look, you could be on this level, but you haven't been like putting your weight kind of thing. So if you want to have that conversation, then that's all right. But I guess, again, that depends on the dynamic of the friendship. But I think it might be important. If it's going to affect the relationship, it's probably important to bring it up, like you're saying, as soon as you're feeling those, like the jealousy, to bring it up and say, yeah, I'm feeling this way. I know I don't want to feel this way. So like we can kind of work through this together if that's the relationship, if that's the dynamic of the relationship. But if your expectation is for them to like throw away what they have just so you can feel better, then obviously that's not the conversation to be had. But bringing it up, I don't think is bad or holds any expectations in itself. I guess where the next step is,
just be open-minded about the answer you get.
Literally,
it might be a surprise.
Yeah,
I agree.
What about the context of God then? We know there's a text in the Bible that talks about how God is a jealous God. How does that compare to our jealousy? Is it the same?
I would hope not.
We kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. And I don't know if we've had a conversation about it before, Josh, but we're kind of talking about the same thing, how God is jealous, or it says that, I'm a jealous God, or but it's normally in the context of worship and setting up other gods. And he's the only person who's entitled to our worship, so he can be jealous. That might be the only time where it's justified for him to be jealous, whereas our jealousy is born out of entitlement. We just want things that other people have, and that's not justified. That's not it doesn't belong to you, so you don't have any rights or ownership over it. So I feel like it's slightly different for God, because it is in the context of worship and setting up other gods, and he's the only person who can actually say, like, I'm deserving of worship and I'm the only one true God. So if you set up others, it's like, you're giving away what belongs to him to other people, or to other things, or setting up your own kind of gods or worship idols. So I feel like that's the way I look at it. I don't know if anybody else has.
We're not entitled to anything, whereas God is. And I think that's kind of what it boils down to. Like we don't have that right as compared to God. And I don't know why we think that maybe we can take something that's not ours or carve it after something that's not ours, whereas God, he created us at the end of the day. And I'd like to believe, maybe I'm wrong, that God's jealousy isn't so pinpointed and as bitter as ours and like almost running people down, or has that toxicity behind it compared to like ours or my own jealousy. That's what I'd personally like to believe. And that
is interesting, because God has, it's almost, they kind of describe God with those emotions, but it doesn't mean that he kind of experiences it the same way we do. So we experience jealousy and we assume that our jealousy is the same as God's jealousy. We experience anger, we assume our anger is the same as God's anger, whereas he might deal with it in a completely different way, or he's God, so he knows the exact way to deal with those emotions, or to like handle different things. And that's to say if it's even the same, or you could even call it the same name as what we're experiencing and the way we go about doing things.
Hey guys, it's Josh from the Exchange Planning team, and on behalf of the whole team here at Exchange, we just want to thank you all so much for supporting season 1. We have successfully made it through. Hallelujah. No, but on a real, guys, thank you so much for your love, your support, your feedback, all the information that you've been passing through to us. Guys, it's been amazing. Thank you for sharing it with your family and friends. It's been an absolutely amazing experience. And I have some great news. Season 2 is coming. Tuesday the 20th of April, guys. Put it in your calendar. Get out the pen, get out the paper, and write it down. Hallelujah. Tuesday the 20th of April. We will be back. And I'm telling you, we have some amazing stuff planned. We've already started filming, and guys, it's gonna be an experience not to be missed. The songs, the discussions, oh my days, y'all ain't ready. So prepare yourselves, I beg. But on a real, guys, we just wanna thank you so much for everything that you're doing. Please continue to share, like, subscribe, comment. And if you have any further feedback, please get in touch with one of us. And we shall see you on Tuesday, the 20th of April. Guys, have a fantastic day. Speak to you all soon. Bye.